are now listening to
Ombudsman Radio.
Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Service Hour. My name is Mati Fati. And on this episode, as you can see, I have with me Jem that I haven't seen in a while. Hi Jem.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
How have you been? Really?
Great.
How does it feel to be back here?
Awesome. I can't, as it has been, I missed here, so
Yeah.
it feels good to be back.
I miss you too, actually.
Oh, thank you so much.
So welcome back.
Thank
and
you.
immediately Jem came. We couldn't wait. We just had to, bring up something for you guys, and we're here. So if you're somebody that's into business, you do interstate, international, this episode is very important to you and you don't want to miss it. We're going to be talking about logistics.
Exactly.
Courier services, and a lot of them like that. So I wouldn't go into details because Jem is here. So Jem, could you tell us what logistics is all about?
Okay, so basically the transportation or movement of goods from one place to the other, right? So we have people who trade in different regions and then they need to commute their services, their goods, yes, from one place to the other. And then that's where logistic companies come in. So now the background of this thing is how were we doing it before what we have now. So back in those days it was simply you dey go Lagos, I bet help me carry this thing give my brother, and stuff like that, or you dey go worry, you dey go this, stuff. That was basically what we had then. And then at some point we had the transport, the road users. You just go to the park and then you give them your goods and then they help you transport it to, maybe you go to Lagos Island, Yanopaja, to go and pick up goods that you have, or you come to Jabi or Utako, you pick up whatever goods from different parts of the country, right? So that was what we had, and then that was what we were working with. But the problem then was that not a lot of good road networks. So sometimes you can have, for instance, you have goods you want to transport to far northern east, and then you might not have, like, Warri people might not have people going towards there. So the connection might just be might pose a little bit of difficulty, and then that will lead to the goods not getting to where they're going on time.
True.
Yeah, so but within early 2000s, and up to 2010, right, we had the advent of DHL and UPS. These are international logistic companies that came and took over the whole logistic service, and then gave it a new look and a more easy and fluid way of doing business. Yes.
Goods,
So now you have, like, you can send things internationally. You don't need to have an uncle or an auntie or a neighbor. Yes, and then you can just go to their offices, give them your goods, they charge you, and then give an address, and then it's all so good.
Yeah.
So and then now these international companies just gave birth to more people. Private companies came up, and then we have so many logistic companies locally now. Yes. And then we even have these bike courier guys that help the small scale business persons transport their goods. You order for food now
Within minutes,
it's you don't it's so easy.
Yes,
it's so easy.
Yeah.
So basically that is how we've come and then where we are at right now.
That's amazing. One thing I love about we humans is that we always try to invent new ways of making life easier, and I think that's really wonderful. If you ask
And
me.
technology just makes it more easy for us.
Very true.
We kind of advance and evolve with time and with technology, so it's good.
That's beautiful. So Jem, could you tell us, you mentioned like what logistics is all about, what they do, transporting goods, services, interstate, internationally, and what have you. So what are the importance? People watching right now would have already coded, one or two importance of this. But then, Jem, could you help us, shed light on the importance of logistics?
I'm just even going to start because I like food. I'm just even going to start with food.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, okay, I'm busy here. I'm in the studio, right? And then I want to eat, and I know that immediately I'm done with this, the next thing I want to eat. And then there's this Iyabuka in Wuse too that I like so much. I don't have to go there. I just place an order and then they give it to a courier guy, and then it's
delivered.
So it saves time. So one of the importances, it saves you time. And then when you have a time saved, you're more efficient.
Yeah.
And more productive in carrying out other things, right? And then another importance is it makes businesses be able to reach a larger audience. You can reach a larger clientele. Imagine a small scale business owner that, or maybe an international client that is in need of a small scale, the service or the goods of a small scale owner. And all you need to do is contact a logistic company like say DHL, UPS, and then before you know, you will say you are no longer a local business, you are now an international business because your goods are now in
outside the country. Yeah.
So this thing just makes it gives room for businesses to expand. It's very huge.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. Compared to there, I think there was a movie I saw, and I know that things like this happen when small business owners would be delivering their goods from door to door, by themselves.
Yes.
There's something you said time saved makes you more efficient.
Exactly.
So by the time you are all over the place, you are nowhere. Before you know, you cannot satisfy everybody, and you start to lose customers. You're burnt out, and I don't know, it's just a lot. But thank God for the invention of this. Actually. So what are some of the challenges that these logistic companies face?
Okay, like I said initially, we have poor road network. So the inability to be able to connect to some places makes delivery take a lot of time, right? And then reduces the efficiency. And then now communication is also a problem. I think one of the problem they face is communication. So another thing we need to talk about is wrong address. Some of these addresses are not properly mapped, so it's difficult for these courier guys to get to them. So that puts a lot of difficulty in delivering the goods on time. And also, as much as we have a lot of courier services or courier company, logistic companies on ground today, most times they are overwhelmed, right? And then you see that they will tell you maybe your goods will take up to 2 days or 3 days to get delivered, but then you end up taking it because not because they don't want to or there are some lapses, but just because they are overwhelmed. So maybe we need to have more people or more private companies delving into that space and then creating more avenues for clients or for customers or for business owners to transport their goods to end users.
I understand when you say that some of these logistic companies are overwhelmed, but there are a lot of logistic companies in Abuja alone. And then,
have you tried to use a logistic company or logistic service during festive period, especially Christmas? I did. This was not even Christmas time, but this was like December 15th. Something that it was to Lagos and it was ordinarily supposed to take like 3 working days. He ended up taking a week plus. And this person, I knew she would have gone out of her way to please me. I was made to understand that it's not because there are lapses in her company, but just because there were a lot. So they had to like take time, sort, deliver. So as much as they are,
they're still not enough.
The services that they receive or the demand is higher. Yeah, so it can be overwhelming. Yes,
true. And it's very like I've seen very funny scenarios between vendors, and oh my god, I don't even want to go into that. It's somehow. So you've mentioned the challenges that these companies face. We would like to understand the challenges that consumers, end users face. I think this is where the drama comes in.
This is why we are here. Yes. I'm sure have you had any personal experience with them? Okay. This particular one this example I was giving just a while ago, this December time, I was at the end of my head. Oh my god, I was calling every day. Guess what? It was supposed to be a birthday surprise, right? The birthday was 15th December.
And they brought it 3 days.
Do you understand? I had everything planned and figured out. The person that was baking the birthday cake was in Lagos, so she was supposed to help me receive the gift and then now deliver the cake and the gift to the celebrants. But do you know the cake ended up going without the gift because they couldn't deliver. So imagine you have had everything planned and I booked this thing ahead, but then and then there are cases where if you have an event, you ordered for a gown. I've seen videos online, and then this thing just the thing is, most persons that request for the services of a logistic company need it for a particular purpose. Or there are some people like international clients who may need goods in Nigeria that that are not readily accessible over there, and they need it for something, but then delay. So basically, the challenge that end users face is when there is delay in delivering their goods, and they are not able to use it for what they want to use it for,
Yeah.
or it's not able to meet a certain requirement or need. So, and that is where tensions
Build up.
Oh
And it's
my God,
not
and then
a sight to see.
everybody is dragging everybody
Yeah.
by their wig and everything. You know, it's crazy.
I've not had a personal experience, but then my roommates in school had a similar experience to what you just said. She ordered for stuff. She wanted to start her business, and then she ordered for stuff from Lagos because it was cheaper over there. Only for these people, do you know that this girl didn't get her goods? She tried to call the vendor. I was like, I didn't get it. She was like, Tommy, I don't send them now. So what do you want me to do? Called, they were not picking. Oh my God, she almost lost her mind. And
Can
it's not
imagine
a sight
how
to see.
it's crazy because you invested in
You
this
don't
and
even
then-
know where your goods are, where
That's
it
another
is.
thing.
You
That's
don't
another
even know.
problem. Not everybody are able to create platform for tracking of goods.
Mhm.
Not all courier services allows you to track. In fact, there are times where they will say, if you're looking for a service, they say if you want a tracking service, it's higher. If you don't want to be able to, who doesn't want to track? I want
Everybody
to track
wants to
now.
now, but they don't want to pay that much.
They will just charge you higher. Then I've seen videos of, I don't know if I think I've seen videos online where a bike guy that was supposed to deliver food just parks somewhere.
And that oh my
So
God.
yeah, so that's another. Imagine that you have like an event and then you've ordered trays and trays of food,
and nobody
with
fetches
chicken,
out of it.
and then
Oh
it
my
gets
God.
delivered to you and your chicken is missing, or the
Oh.
soup goes sour because someone has dipped and inside. These are the challenges that customers or end
Face.
users face using logistics.
Yeah. I think that this is like a form of solution. So let me just introduce that.
Okay.
So what are some of the solutions that you think can be preferred to help curb these excesses?
I think proper communication. But another challenge I would say, one why I'm bringing in this proper communication. Sometimes, right, I've gone to pick up a delivery and then they tell me I'm to pay for it. Meanwhile,
You
I've
already paid.
Yes. So I'm like, no, I've already paid for this. So no, your vendor didn't.
this one
So they there seems to be lapses in communication between
the vendor
the
and
logistic company and then the company. So we need to create room for proper communication. Like let's a clear and transparent form of communication, right? And then we need to improve our connections, like the road networks, the connections really. And also we need to look at expanding. I don't know if we can have like a commission or something, or an agency that regularize or introduce policies, transport and logistic policies that will help to regulate the activities in this service and sector. I think we need that. So because the vendors or whoever is the logistic companies will toe in line with the policies that have been laid down, right? Then the vendors using them will know what to expect. The clients that are to receive goods will know what to expect.
Everybody's
like,
at peace.
do you understand? And then it's sane. There's a sane process and everything works fine. I think
that's really
that we need to look into that.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe someone in the transport ministry can just do something about that.
I think you've covered everything basically. But then I would like to add that workers in logistic companies need to be trained. They need to be oriented.
And trained.
Yes, because sometimes you're trying to call, ask about your goods, and somebody is just shouting, talking anyhow. Meanwhile, you're the one that me on top my seat. Like it's because of me you have your job.
Exactly. We always say that you are there because of the clients, because of their end. As in, you have to. They need to be trained on how to respond, receive complaints,
how to
process.
be professional.
Yes, exactly, and do all of that. They need to be trained and retrained on that aspect, right? That's a good one.
Yeah. So I think we covered everything basically.
Yes, and basically, I know we've had this. How having issues with your logistic company and vendors can be very traumatizing.
Oh my
and
God.
I know you might want to just go off and
but there's a place for you.
Yes.
Here, this is your home.
bring your complaints, whatever you've had, and I think when these policies, if they are created and implemented, there should be room for compensation. Because if I ordered for something and I want to use and I ask you to deliver it to somewhere or wherever, there should be compensation for failure.
Yes, I agree.
So these are all of the things that will help when you bring your complaint to us, we'll mitigate into it, we'll look into it, mitigate between the both parties, and see how the failing party can compensate for errors that they had committed.
Yeah.
And we can even advise you on what to do going further. So there's an alternative to violence here. That's what we're saying basically. So come to Public Complaints Commission, air your complaint, and then seek redress. We're here for you.
We are available in all of the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT, and we have a website where you can lodge your complaint, whatever it is. We would have an investigation officer assigned to your case immediately, and trust us to always give you results. We are here to, provide justice for you, obviously.
Yes, exactly.
So with this, we've come to the end of this episode, and hopefully moving forward, you'll be seeing more of Jem because she's here. She's back. Yeah. So thank you again for watching. My name again is Mati Fati, and this is
Jem.
Bye.
Bye.
You are now listening to
Ombudsman Radio.